Okay, today we have a vacuum cleaner. This is a Sanitaire model. Now, I don't very much deal with modern vacuum cleaners. Most of them are junk. Your typical bagless garbage is just that. Garbage. However, there are a few decent models still existing, and these Sanitaire machines have to be one of them. Now, I don't know anything about this particular machine other than it came from a friend who had, for some reason, this sitting on their front porch, and when I asked about it, they said it had been rolling around in the back of their car. They finally took it out. It is non-functional. So, here we have it. I have not tried this out. I don't know what's wrong with it. I can tell you that there is, I don't know if the camera is panned up that high. It is not. There is some obvious duct tape right there that we'll have to look into, as well as the bolt at the bottom is not the correct thing. Other than that, it appears to be in pretty good condition. The rubber bumper around the edge is a bit loose, but it's still intact. Now, like I said, as far as modern vacuums go, I like these. They are reasonably priced, and I think they're the best reasonably priced vacuum cleaner that you can still buy. I will insert a clip somewhere in this video of me going and showing you that you can still buy this or a very similar model, and they are very reasonable in price. And they perform well. They're not for every setting, but they are good machines. Of course, if this design looks familiar, all you have to do is look at a 70s, 70s or 80s model Eureka vacuum to notice the similarities. Of course, this being a commercial model, it does not have a headlight, but you can see it's got the same control. This is called the dial-in app. This one really doesn't have any names. Similarities continue. This is the same release button. Power button is in the same area. On the bottom, we have a rug plate that looks like this, a bar with a beater and replaceable brush strips. And if we take a look at the bottom of the Sanitaire, you will see that we have pretty much the same machine. Now, this one is lighter. It feels that it is made of thinner plastic. However, you can see that we've got the same rug plate. This one has a wood roller. However, it does have the beater, and this one has non-replaceable brush strips. This is a model SC679 Sanitaire, which is of course a product of Electrolux, which is the company that bought Eureka at some point. So not only are these designed very similar, they are quite literally the same machine, just one is newer and obviously been cheapened up some, but these are still good machines. Having said that, I haven't looked into this machine. I haven't turned it on. I haven't done anything with it. But I've been told that it's non-functional. Now, the first thing I'm noticing, of course this is a commercial model, so it's got a ridiculously thick and long cord with a grounding pin. It's a plastic machine. Why does it need a grounding pin? It's completely plastic. Anyway, the other thing I'm noticing is this area in the cord, which appears to have been botched at some point. Let's go ahead and plug this machine in and see what it does. So the first thing I can notice is that my whole room. Oh my god! I went to unplug this, and we've had our first mishap. The box has come out of the wall. Oh god, it's pulled out the whole drywall. Somebody didn't do a very good job putting this in. I wonder who might have done something like that. Oh jeez. Okay. Damn it. Okay. Nevertheless, I'm not going to take credit for that, even though I totally did it. As I was saying, the first thing that I noticed after turning this on for a minute is that this whole room now smells like cigarettes. On top of that, the second thing that I've noticed is that the bag is not inflating, and it does appear that we do not have any airflow. I believe this is a shakeout bag. So the first thing I'm going to try to do here, maybe not. First thing I'm going to try, okay, yeah, this unhooks. We've got a bunch of moist looking debris in there. So let me get this weird pokey thing, and let's see, is that, yeah, you can still see. So it appears to be clogged, so we might be getting out easy on this one. I don't know why this is wet. The bag is also taped on here. If I had to guess, the plastic thing is probably broken. This is supposed to be, this is a clump. I need to get this bag off of here. This is supposed to be a shakeout bag, and this top is supposed to just slide off, but it's not. So let me go ahead and remove that tape from the handle here. See what's going on under there. Yeah, as I suspected, the thingamaboober's broken. I probably got another one of those somewhere. If it's the same as the old Eureka machines, I definitely do. This is probably not a difficult part to come across. None of the parts for these machines are really difficult to come across. Okay. So yeah, this whole thing here, you can see this goes on the handle. The cord's supposed to go through there, it wraps around. This is supposed to go around the handle. And then this is your bag, which I'm going to have to find some way to clean out better. The old Eurekas, this one has a quick connect sort of thing where it flips and latches closed. The old Eurekas, of course, use paper bags. The opening is the same. However, the old Eurekas use paper bags. So, it is held on with screws. And I would prefer a paper bag, honestly. I believe I have a paper bag from an old Eureka machine. I might put that on here, depending on how bad this clumped up nastiness actually is. But let's go ahead and see. We should have airflow now. So I should at least be able to get that functioning. Can we plug this into a different receptacle? No, that would be too smart. Okay. We still have absolutely zero airflow, so there must be somewhat of a clog still left in there. So let's clean this up somewhere. Okay, we'll pop off the rug plate here. See what's going on. Oh my! Okay. Alright. Okay. I see our problem. And it's actually quite a big one. Here's our spindle. That looks good. You can see rotating the brush roll. Brush roll is a little bit corroded on the ends, but that's okay. Belt's a little worn out, but that's okay. So I'm going to pop that off of there. Now, if you're familiar with these old Eureka machines or these Sanitaires, you'll instantly see the problem. See that sharp piece of plastic there? That is supposed to be a fan. So let's go ahead, since we've been using this as a comparison this whole time, let's knock everything over with it before opening it up, and I will show you what is supposed to be going on in there. This one's an old one, so it's metal instead of plastic. You can see this one was plastic. But see, the fan, that's a very important part of your vacuum cleaner, folks. Let me go see what I can find. Yeah. I'll be back. So, there are several perks of being a complete and total hoarder. One of those perks is when you have an object that you kept because, oh, I'm going to use it someday, and then you actually have a use for it. That's the best feeling in the world. Now, I believe I have exactly what we need in here. Ah, yes. In here. Let's climb, shall we? I believe... yes, it's in this box over here. Here we go. Now this is a whole motor assembly from an older Eureka machine. This is the 7 amp pancake motor. I could probably just put this whole assembly in there, but that Sanitaire has a 5 amp motor, and I actually prefer the lower amp motors because they don't suck down to the carpet as strong. So this fan is really what we want, and it should be the same. Let me climb out of here and we'll see if we can jam it in there. Okay, so here we are with ye old Sanitaire. First thing we're gonna, oh god, it's a torque screw. Apparently they use torque screws on these machines instead of standard Phillips head or flat head like the old ones did. First thing you need to do, this is not a tutorial, but we're going to be removing the screw and removing the dial-in nap, or whatever they call it now. This, I don't know if that has to come off or not. It doesn't on the older ones. Flip this up. There should be 2 springs. No, there are screws. Okay, the older Eurekas used like a spring that you had to pull off. You take a pair of pliers and pull it off. This appears to just be held together with 2 screws. This time they are Phillips screws. Okay. Pop the head off. There's the motor. Now this is, if you look at the older Eureka machines, this is pretty much a derivative of what they used to call the blender motor. And let's see. Yeah, this one turns nice and freely. The bearings in it sound good. So we're going to leave this intact. The reason this was called the blender motor is because, well, look at it. It looks like a blender. Now, this is the pancake motor, and you could fit this whole thing into there, but we're going to be using this motor. I am noticing there is a chip right there on the corner of the base plate. Really shouldn't affect performance or functionality, but it is there. Now, if I do get this working, this whole machine is going to require to be completely disassembled and washed, because it needs a good washing because it's dirty. Now, if this motor works well, which it seems to, I might actually have future plans for it that don't involve this machine. These machines are rather cheaply made. They're still direct air machines. They perform well. And if you're looking for a new vacuum cleaner and you have to have a new one, I would recommend one of these for use on carpet. Direct air machines are always better. However, in the case of these, they're not as good as the old Eurekas. And I might have a project where I might use this motor to revive an old Eureka machine. Oh boy. Seen some more schmoo in there. Let's go ahead and scrape that out. That almost looks like a mouse nest or something. Aren't used vacuum cleaners fun? Don't you love this kind of stuff? Used vacuum cleaners, just dirt and debris. It's so wonderful. Alright. So we're going to need to remove this spindle, which sometimes is easy, sometimes is easier said than done. I'm going to grab onto what's left of this fan with a pair of vice grips, and then we are going to grab the spindle and rotate it, and it actually seems to have come off quite easily. There are some spacers here which you want to leave there. This is all that was left of the fan, which is interesting because I don't see how the rest of that would have come out unless somebody removed it. So it must have shattered and someone removed it. I'm just trying to get all this crap off of the spindle. It's not necessarily going to cause any issues, but I do like to remove it. You can see, there we go. Now again, we can feel this. And the bearings in this motor feel and sound pretty good. The top bearing Actually, I believe these are ball bearings on both sides. I know the bottom bearing is ball bearing. I know on the pancake motor it's a ball bearing. You can very clearly see it there, but I think it is on these as well. So we're going to go ahead and take our pancake motor, and you can see that even though this is like from the 70s, it's the same motor. It would bolt right in there. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. I'm going to hold on to the fan, turn this that way, and we're going to remove the fan. We're going to attempt to remove the fan. We are going to very carefully. Oh, I see. There's a metal washer in here. Let me see if I can grab this metal washer. Grabbing that metal washer is going to be difficult. There we go. Okay. Now, this fan, ooh. Okay, so I've just noticed something. This fan is beginning to get a stress fracture in it. So this one's probably going to go kerchunk like the one that was originally in here did at some point. But for now, let's go ahead and install it. Might need to remove that spacer. Let's see. I think that spacer is going to be too much for us, because there's a space underneath there. You just go ahead and put the spindle down. Another thing to look for on these machines is you can see these spindles are about the same here and here where the belt rides, but I've seen these where the spindles actually get worn down enough to where the belts will no longer rotate as they should. You get a lot of slippage, a lot of heat buildup, and a lot of, it just runs slower than it should. So it doesn't agitate as well. I'm going to place this on here and just see if that, okay, it's not hitting. Actually, that seems about right. So let me go ahead and tighten this up. It doesn't have to be tight, it just has to be tight enough. Another thing to look for is in the windings of the motor. There's always crap packed in those. You don't want to get crazy and start poking at them too much. Just get something and loosely remove most of the dirt if there's a large amount of debris packed in the windings, because these are air-cooled motors. If they do not have air cooling them, they will overheat. So you can see that is, at least for now, in there properly. There's a gasket that runs along the edge here, and it's still in good condition, and I don't have another one. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall the motor and the power switch. And there's like a weird clip thing, goes over the power switch and holds that into place. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our Torx screws. I'm just going to put this other spindle over here with this other motor so I don't lose it. I would like to use that again. You know how it is. Someday I might use that motor, just like someday I would use this fan, which turned out to actually be cracked. Ooh, Nergunder, Zherzhelurgel. I see another problem. This is cracked. Somebody's dropped this. See that? Now, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that for now and put this back in here. And the more and more I'm seeing this machine, the more and more I'm thinking I'm going to use this motor in a project that I have coming up regarding an older Eureka vacuum. That is seeming like a more and more feasible choice, because although this vacuum is not in bad condition, it's certainly been beaten on. Yes, this other support, I'm turning the screw into it, and this one is cracked as well. So this thing has definitely had some sort of impact in its time. I'm aware you can't really see anything right now. I'm just rotating a screw. I'm doing a lousy job at it, as a matter of fact. This handle is also unsatisfactorily wobbly in the locked up position. Like I said, if you have to get a new vacuum, these are a better option than most. But just get a vintage one if you really want something good. Don't bother with new. Okay, let's go ahead and put the bag back on it. So, I forgot I had removed the tape which was holding this bag up. Let's just go ahead and fire this thing up. See how the bag... Okay, so the camera card got full. We turned it on, we ensured that we have airflow. You can tell by the bag inflating. Which is good news, that is what we want to see. Now we're going to go ahead... Where'd the brush roll go? Where did I put the brush roll? Here it is. We're going to go ahead and clean and lubricate the bearings and the brush roll. This is something nobody ever does. It's very easy on these. Some of them have a... Please allow me to demonstrate, and don't demonstrate for yourself. Some of them on the older ones have a cap on the end. These appear to just pull out. This bearing, as you can see, is a bit worse for wear. So is that one. These are not ball bearings, these are sleeve bearings, or bushings, if you want to call them that. And as such, they require lubrication and cleaning. Now you want to get a pokey, stabby tool like this, go in here, and clean out the crud that has inevitably built up in here. This is like a Brillo pad of some nature. That's what this material that's shoved in here is reminding me of. It should not be in here. It needs to go. So just get all that out of there. Any other built up debris out of there. Same thing on this side. There appears to be less built up debris. There's still some of that Brillo pad looking material. Looks like steel wool or a Brillo pad or something you shouldn't be vacuuming up. Don't vacuum up Brillo pads, people. Now that we've done that, we're going to take our bearings and we are going to give them a few drops of oil. Up in there, like that. Now, the brush roll should spin if the bearings weren't worn so much out. But you can see that it's spinning somewhat happier. So go ahead and install the brush roll motor or rug plate, and we'll see if it can vacuum up the shit the clump that came out of the bag. Okay, I'll have to hold up the bag because once again I removed that piece. I'm gonna have to find one of those. So let's go ahead and try it. Well, didn't exactly love it, but it picked it up. Alright, now I get to take this thing completely back apart and clean it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.